I've earned 30 plus certifications, and I'm here to guide you to success on your exam. Welcome to the ultimate DP-600 exam masterclass. Are you ready to crack the DP-600 exam in one go? You're in the right place. In this session, we'll arm you with powerful insights and hand-picked questions that can make all the difference in your exam performance. We've scanned the web using intelligent crawlers to gather the most critical and high-impact questions, all compiled into one powerful PDF resource. You can download it from the link in the description. Not only will we explore these must-practice questions, but we'll also share real exam experiences and pro tips to give you that competitive edge. Let's dive into the key questions that could shape your success. Question 1. You have a fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. You use a data flow to load a new dataset from one lake to the warehouse. You need to add a Power Query step to identify the maximum values for the numeric columns. Which function should you include in the step? A. Table, range. B. Table.maxn. C. Table, profile. Correct answer C. Table, profile. Explanation. Table, profile automatically returns column statistics, including the maximum numeric value. In simple words, it's the easiest way to summarize all numeric columns at once. Question 2. You have a direct lake semantic model using Warehouse RLS. When users interact with a report, which mode will be used by the DAX queries? A. Direct query. B. Dual. C. Direct lake. D. Import. Correct answer A. Direct query. Explanation. RLS forces the model to use direct query to enforce row-level filters. In simple words, security rules override direct lake mode. Question 3. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a machine learning model registered in a Fabric workspace. You need to use the model to generate predictions using the predict function in a Fabric notebook. Which two languages can you use to perform model scoring? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. A. T-SQL. B. DAX. C. Spark SQL. D. PySpark. Correct answer C and D. Spark SQL. PySpark. Explanation. Predict works with Spark engines, so both Spark SQL and PySpark are supported. In simple words, model scoring happens through Spark-based execution. Question 4. You are analyzing data in a Fabric notebook. You have a Spark data frame assigned to a variable named df. You need to use the chart view in the notebook to explore the data manually. Which function should you run? A. Display HTML. B. Show. C. Write. D. Display. Correct answer laughing face. Display. Explanation. Display, DF, makes the data frame available to Fabric's interactive features like chart view. Basically, without display, the data won't load into the UI for charting. Question 5. You have a Microsoft Power BI semantic model. You need to identify any surrogate key columns whose summarize by property is not set to none. What should you use? A. Performance Analyzer. B. Model Explorer. C. Model View. D. DAX Formatter. Correct answer C. Model View. Explanation. Model View shows each column summarized by setting directly. In simple words, it's the fastest way to check surrogate key summarization settings. Question 6. You have a Fabric tenant named Tenant1 containing workspace WS1, capacity C1, and dataset DS1. You need to ensure read-write access to DS1 using the XMLA endpoint. What should be modified first? A. DS1 settings. B. WS1 settings. C. C1 settings. D. Tenant 1 settings. Correct answer C. C1 settings. Explanation. XML read-write capabilities are controlled at the capacity level. Basically, the premium capacity must allow read-write connections first. Question 7. You are creating a semantic model in Power BI Desktop and want to apply bulk changes using TMDL in VS Code. You need to save the semantic model to a file. Which file format should you use? A. PBIP. B. PBIX. C. PBIT. D. BIDS. Correct answer A. BIP. Explanation. PBIP stores the model as source-controlled files, compatible with TMDL editing. In simple words, PBIP is the developer-friendly project format for model editing. Question 8. You have a Fabric tenant with a lakehouse. You need to add data from a CSV file in an external Azure storage account with minimal effort. What should you use? A. Copy job. B. Shortcut. C. Pipeline. D. Dataflow Gen 2. Correct answer B. Shortcut. Explanation. Shortcuts link external storage directly without importing any data. This means instant access with almost zero development work. Question 9. You have a Fabric tenant that uses Power BI Premium capacity. You need to enable scale-out for a semantic model. What should you do first? A. Turn large dataset storage format off. B. Enable create and use metrics. C. Turn large dataset storage format on. D. Enable data activator. Correct answer C. Turn large dataset storage format on. Explanation. Scale-out requires the semantic model to support large dataset format. Basically, enabling this prepares the model for distributed caching. Question 10. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. You use a data flow to load a new dataset from one lake to the warehouse. You need to add a Power Query step to identify the maximum values for the numeric columns. Which function should you include in the step? A. Table.maxn. B. Table max. C. Table range. D. Table profile. Correct answer laughing face. Table profile. Explanation. Table profile returns profiling statistics for every column, including maximum values. Basically, it's built specifically for data profiling tasks. Question 11. You have a semantic model with many tables including a fact table named sales. You need to create a diagram with only the sales table and related tables. What should you use? A. Data categories. B. Data view. C. Model view. D. DAX query view. Correct answer C. Model view. Explanation. Model view allows selecting and visualizing only specific tables and relationships. Basically, it's the ideal place to build focus star schema diagrams. Question 12. You have a Fabric tenant with a semantic model. You need to prevent report creators from using implicit measures. Which two tools can achieve this? A. Power BI Desktop. B. Tabular Editor. C. SSMS. D. DAX Studio. Correct answer A and B. Power BI Desktop. Tabular Editor. Explanation. Both Power BI Desktop and Tabular Editor allow disabling implicit measure creation. This ensures all measures are explicitly defined for better model quality. Question 13. You have a workspace with a warehouse DW1 shared with user 1 using default permissions. What can user 1 do? A. Build reports using the default dataset. B. Read table data from DW1. C. Connect via the Azure SQL Analytics endpoint. D. Read the underlying Parquet files. Correct answer C. Connect via the Azure SQL Analytics endpoint. Explanation. Default permissions allow SQL connections but restrict direct file access. In simple words, user 1 can connect through SQL but not read OneLake files. Question 14. You have a lakehouse with CSV files in subfolder 1. You need to convert them to Delta format with vOrder. What should you do? A. Use load to tables. B. Create a shortcut in files. C. Create a shortcut in tables. D. Use optimize. Correct answer A. Use load to tables. Explanation. Load to tables imports the files and automatically builds vOrder Delta tables. It's the simplest built-in conversion method. Question 15. You need to modify object-level security, OLS, for a semantic model. What should you use? A. Fabric Service. B. Power BI Desktop. C. ALM Toolkit. D. Tabular Editor. Correct answer laughing face. Tabular Editor. Explanation. Tabular Editor provides full control over object-level security. Basically, it's the professional tool for advanced security modeling. Question 16. You have local source data and want Fabric to populate a data store using data flows. Delta tables must be vOrder optimized and compacted automatically. Which data store should you use? A. Lakehouse. B. Azure SQL Database. C. Warehouse. D. KQL Database. Correct answer A. Lakehouse. Explanation. Lakehouses automatically optimize Delta tables using vOrder. This makes them ideal for data flow-driven ingestion pipelines. Question 17. You need a pipeline that runs every 4 hours on Mondays and Fridays. What should repeat be set to? A. Daily. B. By the minute. C. Weekly. D. Hourly. Correct answer C. Weekly. Explanation. A weekly schedule lets you target specific days and set repeating intervals. In simple words, it fits Mondays and Fridays only. Question 18. Your warehouse performance degrades throughout the day. You suspect throttling. What should you use? A. Capacity settings. B. Monitoring hub. C. DMVs. D. Fabric Capacity Metrics app. Correct answer laughing face. Fabric Capacity Metrics app. Explanation. The Capacity Metrics app provides detailed throttling and resource diagnostics. It's the official tool for premium and Fabric capacity monitoring. Question 19. A report that usually takes 2 minutes has been running for 45 minutes. You need to identify what's blocking the query. Which DMV should you use? A. sys.dm_exec_requests. B. sys.dm_exec_sessions. C. sys.dm_exec_connections. D. sys.dm_pdw_exec_requests. Correct answer A. sys.dm_exec_requests. Explanation. sys.dm_exec_requests shows active queries and their weights. In simple words, it's the DMV that reveals exactly why a query is stuck. Question 20. You need a column that calculates the number of days between order_date and shipping_date. Which Power Query function should you use? A. Datetime.localNow. B. Duration days. C. Duration from. D. Date.addDays. Correct answer B. Duration days. Explanation. Duration. Days extracts a number of days from a date difference. It's the direct function for date-to-date day calculations. Question 21. You need to copy CSV data from Azure Storage into a lakehouse using Power Query M in a pipeline. Which activity should you add? A. Data flow. B. Notebook. C. Script. D. Copy data. Correct answer A. Data flow. Explanation. Data flows support Power Query M expressions inside pipelines. This is the only activity with built-in M transformation capability. Question 22. You plan to merge two lakehouse tables and want all rows from both tables returned. Which join should you use? A. Inner. B. Full outer. C. Left outer. D. Right anti. E. Right outer. F. Left anti. Correct answer B. Full outer. Explanation. A full outer join returns matching and non-matching rows from both sides. Basically, it guarantees 0 lost rows. Question 23. A Delta table has 1 million Parquet files. You must remove files not referenced in 30 days while maintaining ACID. What should you run? A. Delete from one lake. B. Optimize with zorder. C. Optimize with vorder. D. Vacuum. Correct answer laughing face. Vacuum. Explanation. Vacuum safely cleans unreferenced files while keeping Delta logs consistent. It's the only ACID-safe cleanup operation. Question 24. You need to merge queries using inner join while ignoring spaces. Which approach minimizes effort? A. Append using fuzzy matching. B. Merge using fuzzy matching. C. Append using lookup table. D. Merge using lookup table. Correct answer B. Merge using fuzzy matching. Explanation. Fuzzy matching can ignore white space differences automatically. This avoids writing custom trim logic. Question 25. You need to copy schema 1.city into schema 2 with minimal data copying. Which T-SQL should you run? A. Insert into. B. Select into. C. Create table as clone. D. Create table as select. Correct answer C. Create table as clone. Explanation. Clone creates a metadata-only copy using shared storage. This avoids copying the underlying data files. Question 26. You need to prevent new tables in Lakehouse 1 from auto-appearing in the default semantic model. What should you configure? A. SQL Analytics Endpoint Settings. B. Semantic Model Settings. C. Workspace Settings. D. Lakehouse Settings. Correct answer A. SQL Analytics Endpoint Settings. Explanation. The SQL Analytics endpoint controls which tables autosync to the semantic model. Disabling autosync prevents new tables from appearing. Question 27. You have two sequential pipeline activities. A failure in the first must not block the second. Which conditional path should you use? A. Upon failure. B. Upon completion. C. Upon skip. D. Upon success. Correct answer B. Upon completion. Explanation. Upon completion, runs the next activity regardless of success or failure. This ensures the second step always executes. Question 28. You need to identify surrogate key columns whose summarize by is not equal to none. What should you use? A. DAX Formatter. B. Model Explorer. C. Model View. D. Best Practice Analyzer and Tabular Editor. Correct answer laughing face. Best Practice Analyzer and Tabular Editor. Explanation. Best Practice Analyzer highlights columns that violate summarization rules. It's the most automated and reliable method. Question 29. You need to load rows into a large Type 2 SCD with minimal resource usage. Which T-SQL statement should you use? A. Update and insert. B. Merge. C. Truncate plus insert. D. Create table as select. Correct answer B. Merge. Explanation. Merge handles SCD Type 2 logic efficiently in a single operation. It reduces extra scans and unnecessary data movements. Question 30. You have a complex star schema model with a sales fact table. You need to visualize a diagram containing only sales and related tables. What should you use? A. Data categories. B. Data view. C. Model view. D. DAX query view. Correct answer C. Model view. Explanation. Model view lets you isolate specific tables and their relationships in a diagram. It's the standard way to explore partial model layouts. Please revise full PDF 2 to 3 times for 100% success. Check the description for the PDF download link and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming episodes. Thank you.